You're watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike, 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
If you're enjoying today's game, watch it again at trailblazerbasketball.tv.
Back here in the Leadership Center as we get you set for game number 2 of the night as UC-Clermont, the men on the floor right now getting set to take on your Trailblazers. Happy New Year. Our first broadcast with Fairfield Media and the Trailblazer Basketball Network after the new year, and not off to a good start tonight as the Cougars come into this building and knock off your Lady Trailblazers 72-59. The OCU men hoping to sweep the series tonight against the Clermont men as they went down to Batavia, Ohio back on the 30th of November and did something that they've never won in that building, first and foremost. And not only did they win on November the 30th, they won big. 91-54 was the final in that game. Trey Vaughn had 19 points, 4 of 8 on threes. Trailblazers hit 10 of 24 threes as a team for 42%, and they held UC-Clermont to only 2 of 19 on threes in that game for 11%. They dominated the backboards 34-26, and 16 of those 34 rebounds were on the offensive end of the floor. And senior James Nelson, you're going to hear Jamie Batten talk about it in just a few moments, with a perfect day shooting the basketball. The senior from Dayton, Ohio had 16 points on 6 of 6 shooting, including 2 3-pointers and a monster jam in transition for the senior James Nelson. So a little shake-up with the Cougars. 3 or 4 guys, when you start losing, they come in at 7 and 18. A couple of them have said heck with this and have gone on to do other things. A couple of them were ineligible at the semester, and so they've lost a couple of guys. The big addition that they've picked up is 6'8 freshman J.C. Lunkin, who is giving John Hurley and the Cougars 9 points and 6 rebounds per game, shooting 48% from the field. Has already had 1 double-double in his 3 games with this team, and so that's one of the big holes they had. They lost Big Charles Doss at the semester. They also lost Willie Slusher, and those 2 guys, both of them averaging a team-best 7.8 rebounds per game. So Lunkin appears to kind of fill that void for this Cougar team, and they hope tonight that instead of kind of throwing in the towel like they did when things went awry on the 30th of November, they hope tonight, if they get a deficit, as assistant coach Jason Moberly put it, hope we have the poise to kind of chip away and fight our way back. And so we'll see. It should be interesting. The Trailblazers, who kind of took it easy on Tuesday night, looked a little bit lethargic, may have the same kind of mentality coming into this one, considering they beat this Cougar team by 37, and that obviously is a concern to Jamie Batten and Tony Stockman. You'll hear from Coach Batten in just a few moments. OCU, a winner on Tuesday night, 91-81. Against unranked KCU. The Knights got as close as 4 in the second half and then did the unthinkable. Ron Reed called a timeout after cutting it to 4 points late in the second half, and they didn't have any timeouts. It's a technical foul. Trailblazers went to the free throw line, made 2 free throws, extended the lead to 6. Wesley Russell, who was very quiet throughout the night, hit 7 of 8 from the charity stripe down the stretch to seal the win. James Nelson played well, 19 points for OCU. Jimmy Horton, the freshman out of Cleveland, added 16 points. Clay McKenzie led KCU with 21 points before fouling out. So OCU comes in 11-7. They are the #1 team in the NCCAA Division II. First time in school history that the OCU men have ever earned that ranking. They've had it now for about a month. They've knocked off the #2 team Valley Forge on the road. They knocked off Central Bible. They've beaten Grace Bible, the 4-time defending champs, and UC-Clermont enters this game tonight, number 19 in the USCAA Division II. Earlier today, I had a chance to sit down with the assistant coach of the Trailblazers, Jamie Batten, to get his thoughts on tonight's contest, and we'll share those thoughts with you right now.
Assistant coach Jamie Batten joins us as we get you set for the second game of our doubleheader tonight. The Cougars from UC-Clermont and Batavia in town to take on your Trailblazers, and Coach coming off that 91-81 win at unranked KCU on Tuesday night. It was a win in the region, but I know, talking with Tony Stockman after the game, wasn't too pleased with the effort. 19-point lead in the first half, built a double-digit lead again in the second half. As you've looked back on it, digested it, chewed on it a little bit, why weren't you guys able to slam the door more in that first half or early second?
Well, we just didn't put them away. We had them down 19 in the first half, had a chance to really put it out of reach, and we sort of lacked that killer instinct. And I think we got comfortable, sort of got relaxed, and they took advantage and came back, and they made it a much closer game than we thought it should have been. And so even though they say a win's a win, we left there not being really happy about the outcome of the game.
Tony described it as some lethargic play. I think he used the word disinterested. Some guys just didn't look like they were too into the game. But I'm sure there were some bright spots as well as you look back on it. Jamie, what were some of the things that you were pleased with on Tuesday night?
Well, we felt like James Nelson gave us some good minutes. He had 18 points, 9 rebounds. And some of our guards came in off the bench and shot the three really well. Evan Bartlett, Danny Schrock, and Milan Kostov, that trio shot over 50% from three in the game, and so we took that away from the game. We liked how they stepped up, but we did sort of relax a little too much. And we have a team right now. When we play really good teams, we step up and we answer the call. But the other thing is when you play teams that you feel you're better than, you have to step up and you have to take the game to them. You can't wait for them to bring the game to you. You have to initiate and you have to dictate what's going to happen.
How much does a game like tonight concern you? Concern Tony in the post game. Here's a team you beat by 37 back on the 30th of November. It's an athletic team that has really had OCU's number. They've won 5 out of the last 7 in the series, but it's a team that maybe this team could be looking past. How much does that concern you tonight?
Well, they've had some personnel changes, and so we know we have to make some adjustments as far as their personnel. They've lost some players and added some players. So we're going to have to make some adjustments as far as who we're guarding at different spots. But we like this matchup. We did beat them significantly in the first matchup. You almost have to throw that result out the window because they're going to bring a much better effort tonight. At their place, we won by 37. We were hitting all our shots. We were in rhythm. And so you'll have nights like that, but you always won't be hitting every shot. And so we know that they're going to come in ready to play. They have talent and they have the ability at certain spots. They just came off a win against Indiana University at Kokomo, an NAI school. And so we know they can win games and they'll bring good effort against us tonight.
You did shoot it well in that first game, 10 out of 24 on threes. Trey Vaughn, a big day, 19 points, 4 out of 8. What allowed you to have the kind of success you had? Besides just shooting it well, what did you do well offensively that opened up those shots?
Well, the thing we really did well is we rebounded, and we had so many offensive rebounds that game. We really crashed the glass. We had second and third look opportunities, and then on the defensive end, we were forcing one shot and then getting transition looks. And when we're rebounding and getting our transition game going, we're hard to beat, and that's what happened in that first matchup.
Trey Vaughn back tonight, as we said, and Danny Schrock, you talked about it, did a nice job in his absence, had that 20-point performance, at Boyce on the 8th of January. But what does it mean for this team to have their second leading scorer back at the 3 in talking about Trey Vaughn?
Well, it means a lot. Trey is a run waiting to happen. Trey can get going for 2 or 3 three-pointers in a matter of, seconds. And in a minute or two, he can go on a 9-0 run and just give us a big boost. And in games, first semester that we've done really well, Trey's done a good job for us. He's a guy that has big play capability. He can go for 20 or 25 any night, and he spreads the floor defensively, which opens up our driving lanes for our guys that like to get to the rim.
Talking with assistant head coach Jamie Batten here on the pregame shows. We get you set for game number 2 tonight between your Trailblazers and UC-Clermont. And, Coach, you talked about some of the new pieces that John Hurley has at his disposal in this meeting, and one of them is big 6'8 freshman J.C. Lunkin that's already had a double-double. He's averaging right around 10 points and 6 rebounds. Should be a pretty good test underneath for James and Devin again tonight.
Yeah, we actually like when we get a play against the big. We have at our level we have some pretty good bigs at 6'8" and 6'9", and James and Devin, and so I know as far as working with James and Devin, they enjoy the opportunity to go up against another big guy and test their skills and see how they've developed and see how good they are. A lot of times we play teams that maybe only have a 6'4", 6'5", and so when they get a chance to play against a real post player, they really look to take advantage of that opportunity and showcase their skills.
James did that in the last meeting, had that stretch where he had the three-pointer, then the steal, and then kept it himself at the other end for a dunk. That's a pretty nice stretch for a 30 seconds for a 5.
Yeah, he showed out that game. I think he went 6 of 6 from the field. I don't think he didn't miss a shot that game. He had a couple. I think he had a 3 or 2, and then had a dunk, hit all his free throws, and he went against a big guy that game. And so when our big guys, when Devin and James have had the opportunity to go against another big guy, they usually show out really well, and they bring a good effort against them.
Jamie, what's the biggest key to pulling off the season sweep against the Cougars tonight?
Well, we got to play our kind of basketball. We're really trying to identify and communicate to our guys how we defend, staying in front of the ball, getting in gaps, taking away drill penetration, giving the offense nothing easy when we're defending the basketball. And as long as we do that, as long as we're not gambling and letting the ball get behind us and getting in scramble situations, when we defend like that, we do a really good job. And then offensively, it's going to come down to just executing. We have a couple reads in our offense, and when we're making those reads, when we're executing quality screens and good flares, and everybody's doing their job, we usually manufacture really good shots. And when we manufacture good shots, the offense just comes naturally.
Coach, appreciate your time. Best of luck, and we'll look forward to some thoughts from you and your staff after the game.
Thanks, Rick.
That's the assistant coach here of the Trailblazers, Jamie Batten, here on the pregame shows. We get you set for Ohio Christian and UC-Clermont. We'll take a break right now and meet tonight's starting lineups. Those are coming up next here on the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
As we enter these last days, we must train this generation now.
That God wants us to be real in this day. I am a strong supporter of Christian education. Challenge the mind.
Our future depends upon Christian higher education.
Biblical values.
The future.
As the campus continues to grow,
New buildings and a record enrollment.
Good, sound Christian leaders.
Building a place that is making a difference in the lives of students.
business leaders, educators.
And he's trying to raise a generation of men and women who will stand and say, I will be counted for Christ. No game playing anymore.
Because the next generation is going to affect our world today.
A world needs to hear that Jesus Christ is the hope.
Rick Cooper back here in the Leadership Center as they get ready to give out some free pizzas to the Domino's Pizza loudest fans in this building. We'll give you tonight's starting lineup. Keep a shot on those guys, not on me, as they walk around and get everybody riled up. They're looking for obnoxious fans in this facility. Starting lineup for your Trailblazers tonight: Evan Bartlett at the point, 5'9" freshman from Huber Heights, 3.5 points, 1.9 assists. Wesley Russell, the two guard, 6'4" sophomore from Columbus, averaging a team best 17.1 points and 6.1 rebounds. The small forward tonight is Dre Vaughn, 6 foot junior from Uniontown, played 2 years at NCAA Division II Ohio Valley University, back after a couple games with some academic questions, but he is now cleared and averaging 13 points, shooting 33% on threes. Evan Mills, the power forward, 6'4" sophomore from Columbus, 7 points and 3 boards. And the man in the middle is James Nelson, 6'8" senior from Dayton, Ohio, 9.5 points to go along with a team best 6.2 rebounds and 1.5 blocks. Both of those are team highs. The head coach of the Trailblazers is Tony Stockman, 11-7 in his first season, a 61% winning percentage for the 2005 Ohio State grad. He's assisted tonight by the former head coach, former athletic director here at OCU, Mr. Jamie Batten, and Stockman wife Brittany and 3 sons, Tayden, Maddox, and Brayson. We'll take our final timeout. We'll meet the Clermont starting lineups coming up next here on the Ohio Christian University Trailblazer Basketball Network.
University, it's the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike, 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Thank you for watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
National anthem means we're just moments away from the opening tip. Let's meet the starting lineup for the visitors, the UC-Clermont Cougars out of Batavia, Ohio, school of about 5,000. That was the USCAA national runner-up back in 2010. Not a branch of the University of Cincinnati. It's a standalone campus again in Batavia, Ohio. They became a 4-year school in the past 4 years. They've got 8 4-year degrees that students can participate in on the UC-Clermont campus. Let's meet the starting lineup for the Cougars. The point guard is Darwin Tolliver, as they turn out the lights in this building, which always makes my job a little bit more fun. Tolliver, the 6'1 junior from Winton Woods, averaging 6.4 points and 4.1 rebounds. The 2 guard tonight is their leading scorer, Kendall Beeman, 6'1 freshman from Withrow High School, 18.2 points, 4.3 rebounds, and he shoots a team-high 36% on threes. The small forward tonight is Devin Davis, 6' junior from Marion, Indiana. He started his career at Ohio State Mansfield in his second year with UC-Clermont. Davis is averaging 7 points, 2.7 rebounds, and a team-high 3.4 turnovers. The power forward tonight is Chris Sunderman, 6'3 freshman from Cincinnati, 3 points, 3.8 rebounds, 35% field goal percentage. He's a pitcher on the UC-Clermont baseball team, and the man in the middle is 6'6 junior from New Richmond, Ohio, number 42, Dylan Phillips, 3.5 points and 3.8 rebounds. He is shooting 42% from the field. He is a 3-year player in this UC-Clermont program. The head coach is 60-year-old John Hurley. Hurley got his 27 years coaching at Cincinnati State, got his 900th win as a college head coach against Rio Grande back on December 13th of 2011. He's in his 8th season at UC-Clermont, and he's assisted tonight, as we said, by Jason Moberly. Taking a look at the injury report for both of these teams, Darwin Tolliver as what they think is a sports hernia, will play tonight and will get the start at the point guard, but we'll keep an eye on that. Talking to their assistant, Jason Moberly, said it's an injury that really bothers him, but just really fights through it on game day and will kind of feel the pain tomorrow. But Tolliver will get the start tonight for OCU. Really nobody with injuries. The guy that is back for this basketball team is Trey Vaughn. It wasn't an injury, and he wasn't ineligible. It was just some academic questions. Was waiting on like a winter course to have a grade posted, and they thought they might have him Tuesday night at KCU, but Didn't work out that way, but Vaughn back into the lineup tonight. And while we mentioned Trey Vaughn, it's also good to give credit to Danny Schrock, who stepped in. Tony Stockman wanted a shooter at that three-man spot, and they put Schrock in there for a couple of games. And boy, did Danny Schrock take advantage. Had 20 points in that win at Boyce back on the 8th of January, and did a real nice job. And Trey Vaughn back in that role tonight for the Trailblazers. Trailblazers, as we said in the pregame, #1 in the NCCAA Division II. There's 8 regions. There's 8 region chairs that vote. All 8 of them have the Trailblazers at #1. Valley Forge is #2. Trinity Baptist out of Florida, that just got beat by Florida Christian, is #3. Northland out of Wisconsin, and the Midwest region, #4. And North Central is #5. James Nelson going to jump it up against Dylan Phillips. Trailblazers in the home white, and they control the opening tip. They will move left to right here in the first half. With it is Evan Bartlett. Off a screen, it's Trey Vaughn. Lost the basketball, got it back. Goes left wing to Wesley Russell. Russell will bring it back out and set things up to the right wing, and Evan Mills. Mills dribble drive, looking for Vaughn, underneath for Nelson, his first touch. Nelson double team, picks up his dribble and back out to Russell. Shot clock is at 8. Russell into the lane, finger roll no, but he was fouled, and he'll shoot 2. Couple Cougars in the vicinity, and the guilty party is their leading scorer, Kendall Beeman. It's his first and the team's first. Trailblazers' first free throws of the game. They shoot him at a clip of 64%, and as we said, if you're just joining us, Russell, who was very quiet Tuesday night against KCU, was really a non-factor until the end when it was time to start fouling. KCU started committing fouls, trying to extend the game, and Wesley Russell hit 7 of 8 from the charity stripe down the stretch. He splits a pair here, and the rebound into the hands of UC-Clermont. 1-0 OCU, just underway here in the Leadership Center, and there's an unforced error as Kendall Beeman can't run down a pass on the right baseline, and it's a turnover back to OCU. So the starting 5 on the floor: Evan Bartlett, the 1, Wesley Russell, the 2 guard with it here, Trey Vaughn, the 3, Evan Mills continues to get a start at that 4 spot, and Big James Nelson underneath at the center. Right wing, it's Wesley Russell, guarded by Beeman. Underneath, Nelson got free off a screen, a slip screen, and he went right to the basket and put it in. I didn't see who set the screen, but whoever did a real nice job, as Dylan Phillips late trailing the play, and Nelson able to make him pay. 3-0 OCU, right of center. Devin Davis, backside of the rim with his 3, and Bartlett the rebound. Bartlett looking to run. Russell left side, behind the back, between the legs, to the rim, put it up, no good. Good move by Wes, just could not finish. Rebound taken away by Tolliver. Quickly to the other end, his runner is right there. First 2 for Darwin Tolliver, the junior from Winton Woods, 3rd-year player. Missed the November 30th meeting with a groin injury, but is back now. Right baseline, Nelson squares up, goes back out to Bartlett. Left wing, Trey Vaughn, first 3. Back of the rim, no good, and Nelson and Phillips banging. And I'm going to say that neither of those players touched the basketball and went out of bounds off the shooter, Trey Vaughn. It'll go back to UC-Clermont. 3-2. Trailblazers by 1 here early. We're on the campus of Ohio Christian University in the Maxwell Leadership Center, named for the motivational author, speaker, and OCU graduate John Maxwell. Left wing, now left baseline, it's Wayne Evans. Evans back out to Beeman, runner left side, in and out, battle for the rebound, ends up in the hands of Wesley Russell. It's a 3-on-2 break. Russell into the lane, went to the left hand, no good. Mills tried to tip dunk it, but could not finish. An outlet to Beeman. Beeman 17 feet away, he hits. And Clermont takes a 4-3 advantage. If you followed or watched that or listened to that first game, Clermont dug a big hole. And talking to Jason Moberly, their assistant coach, he said, Rick, we just quit. And right now hanging around through 2.5 minutes, which is a scary thing if you're OCU. Underneath Mills, who went underneath the basket to create some space. The shot blocker was lurking, but used the rim to his advantage, and Evan Mills first 2, and at the other end, it's going to be an offensive foul on Wayne Evans, who must have used an elbow of some kind to create some wiggle room. Evans walks up the floor with his hands in the air, and John Hurley with the same reaction as well for Mike McKee, as if to say, what did he do? And not going to get an explanation as McKee underneath the basket, and it's second foul on the team. Evan Bartlett, left wing, 3, backside of the iron, no good. The rebound taken away by Clermont. Devin Davis saves it into the hands of Wayne Evans. The freshman from Portsmouth fired it underneath. And Dylan Phillips, looked like Phillips touched it last, but apparently one of the Trailblazers did, and it'll stay with the Cougars. 16:50 to play first half. Trailblazers by 1, 5-4. Devin Davis looking to inbound. Does so to the left wing, and Wayne Evans. Now to Darwin Tolliver, who will run the point most of the night. Tolliver goes right wing to Beeman. Their leading scorer just hit again. So Kendall Beeman, who only had 10 points in the entire game on the 30th of November, has 5 here early, and it's 7-5. Clermont with the lead by 2. Russell holding the basketball, now goes to Evan Mills. Mills, the sophomore in his first season with OCU from Columbus. Nelson double teamed. He was perfect in the last meeting, and they're not going to let him do that today. And Nelson stepped on the baseline as he tried to reverse underneath the rim. And so you can see already after Nelson went 6 for 6 in that first meeting and had a 16-point day. They're going to get it out of his hands. They're sending a double team every time the big fella gets it near the block, and forced a turnover there as James had a foot on the sideline. On the baseline, I beg your pardon, 7-5, under 16 minutes to play first half. Right baseline, Beeman for 3, no good. And Trayvon, an outlet to Russell, and Russell couldn't bring it in. Was bouncing off his head, and he had a foot on the sideline. Apparently when he had the possession. I never thought West had the possession, but apparently he did as it bounced off his head, and Mike McKee said you had a foot on the sideline, and it's a turnover. A left baseline, it's Darwin Tolliver, now to Evans, working against Trayvon. Dumped underneath to Devin Davis, who caught it near the dots but could not finish. Rebound, Wesley Russell. Baseball pass underneath to Nelson, who got free and put it in. Second field goal for the senior from Dayton, Ohio, James Nelson, who comes in averaging right under 10 a game, along with a team-best 6.2 rebounds. 3 subs coming in. Jimmy Horton, Kenny Cooper, and Joe Collier. They'll check in at the next dead ball. Beeman around the horn to the right wing, and Tolliver. Top of the key, it's Devin Davis. Right as center, Beeman. Setting up Davis left side for 3. Got it. Dribble drive, set him up there. Beeman, usually the scorer, this time put it on the floor and set Davis up nicely for 3. Shot at the other end by Mills. Comes up short. Tolliver quickly in transition to Davis. Back to Tolliver. Into the lane. Tried that dribble drive again, and this time it's deflected and taken away by Bartlett. Bartlett into the lane. Left it to Russell in a difficult spot. Deflected into the hands of Mills, who put it in. That was a tough play for Wesley Russell where he got the basketball, and fortunate that it deflected into the hands of Mills, who dropped it in. 10-9, Cougars by 1, 14:23 to play. Trayvon Crater, St. Vincent St. Mary product, will check in at the next dead ball as well. Right side, into the lane and up and in is Darwin Tolliver. Somebody tried to intercept that pass, and when they didn't come up with the basketball, it left an easy route for Darwin Tolliver to the rim. 12-9, Nelson with it just off the left block, working against Dylan Phillips. And they're going to get a forearm of some kind. And they're going to send these subs back to the table. Mike McKee going to say, I want to make my foul call first. And he says, let's sit down, gentlemen. And now they all do. And Mike McKee will make the call. And it's going to be charged to 42, Dylan Phillips. It's his first, team third. And now the Trailblazers can enter. Jimmy Horton, Kenny Cooper, Trayvon Crater, and Joe Collier. The only OCU starter that stays on the floor is Trayvon. So 4 new Trailblazers. Trailblazers trailing by 3, 12-9 here early in the first half. 13:58 to play. Inbound to Collier. Little jump hook. Grazed the backside of the rim, and that's about it. Rebound Clermont, who will try to extend on a 3-point advantage. With it is Wayne Evans, 7 points, 2.5 assists. Picks up his dribble and goes to Kendall Beeman, the freshman from Withrow High School. This is Tolliver, 12-footer, no good. Nobody boxed Tolliver out. It's a fresh 35. Davis for 3 on the rim, no good. And Joe Collier, the defensive rebound. Collier an outlet to Jimmy Horton. Horton into the line, into the lane. Shot no, but he was fouled and will get 2. Foul is going to be charged to 24 Wayne Evans. And that is quickly number 2 on Wayne Evans. Jimmy Horton will shoot 2. And this Clermont men's team, a lot like the women, their numbers have depleted. As we said, several players ineligible. Willie Slusher left the team late first semester. He was a double-digit scorer. Charles Doss, who averaged nearly 8 rebounds a game, left at the end of the semester, was averaging 10 and 8 for this team. They lost 23 points and 16 rebounds between those two guys, and Horton misses a pair. Kenny Cooper an offensive rebound. Cooper tried to put it up, no, but he was fouled and will shoot 2. So the Trailblazers miss a pair, but another foul, and this one's on Dylan Phillips, and it's number 2 on him. So 2 free throws coming up for Kenny Cooper, 41% coming in. Cooper bends the knees and fires no good. 12-9 UC-Clermont. Trailblazers have missed 3 in a row from the line. Cooper bends the knees, spins the basketball in his hands, and fires good. So Kenny splits a pair, it cuts it to a 2-point game, and the sophomore from DeSales High School is in the books with his first point. 12-10. Trailblazers with some full court pressure. Clermont breaks it this time with the help of Devin Davis and Kendall Beeman. Davis has got it right forecourt. Davis working against Schrock, picks up his dribble and goes right baseline to Beeman, who's double-teamed. Beeman in all kinds of trouble, and he threw it away. Taken away by Crater. It's one-on-one. Crater against Beeman, and make that Tolliver, and he took it right at him and took it right to the rim. Trayvon Crater, the freshman, who has given Tony Stockman about 8 points off the OCU bench, in the books with his first 2. It's tied at 12. 12:30 to play first half. With it is Tolliver. Trailblazers in a 2-3 zone here as Schrock has checked in. He and Jimmy Horton up at the top of that 2-3. Into a gap as Davis sets up a shooter by Tolliver, and he hits a 17-footer. Good job there by Devin Davis finding a gap in that 2-3 zone, and it left Tolliver all alone for a 17-footer. Near steal by Beeman. The Trailblazers fortunate that it didn't cost him right there. Crater to Schrock. Cooper on the left baseline, underneath to Collier. Double team, back out to Cooper. Crater thought about a 3, instead puts it on the floor, and they're going to call a double dribble as Crater thought about raising up from 15 and then said, I'm going to take it a step further, and traveled in the process. John Hurley wants a full timeout with the 11:53 mark. We'll take it with him. 14-12 UC-Clermont. You're listening to Trailblazer Basketball here on the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
From Ohio Christian University, it's the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike. 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
11:53 to play first half. OCU trailing by 2, 14-12, and see what Tony Stockman dials up defensively here as Crater, the lone man, looks like a 1-2-2 half-court trap, and still behind the timeline. They finally clear it with about 26 on the shot clock, so men in stripes had to be close to a 10-second violation, and that patience pays off as Kendall Beeman with a catch on the right wing, and he fires a three at 17-12. Crater into the lane, dumped it off to Collier, went to a right-handed reverse, no good. Came up short, and the rebound, Clermont. Davis looking to run. Davis to the big fella, J.C. Lunkin, who has checked in. We talked about him, fourth game, averaging 9 points and 6 rebounds, and sloppy play by both teams at both ends, and it ends up in the hands of Darwin Tolliver, the junior. Right wing, Beeman, another three, no good. The rebound run down by the Canal Winchester product, Joe Collier. 17-12, Trailblazers trailing by 5. Big James Nelson to the table. He'll check in at the next dead ball. Left side, it's Kenny Cooper. Cooper looking for somebody to move. Collier to the free throw line. Instead, he goes right wing to Horton. One dribble, 17-footer, missed everything. And going to say Joe Collier touched it last, and it goes out of bounds to the Cougars. Here comes James Nelson. Collier will sit down. And here comes Wesley Russell as Trayvon Crater will sit down. First appearance for Milan Kostov, the senior from Jambol, Bulgaria. 5.2 points and 1.6 rebounds. He is really starting to shoot the basketball well from three-point range. Shot 50% on threes for the weekend at the Valley Forge tournament and had a couple big threes in that win at KCU on Tuesday night. 17-12, 10:25 to play in the half. Davis, right side runner, 12 feet away, no good. Got his own rebound, but could not finish in midair. Ends up in the hands of Beeman, who can't finish. And finally, James Nelson, a defensive rebound. Nelson showed three and then took it to the rim and finished. James hit a couple threes in that game up at UC-Clermont, and so when he showed three, they had to respect it. And after they came out on Big James, he put it on the floor and went to the rim. 17-14, left side Davis, three right there. Horton tried to close out, but was a little bit late, and he made him pay. Nelson to the other end. Bucket is good, and he was fouled. I'll tell you what was most bizarre about that play is they charged a foul to J.C. Lunkin. Lunkin is yawning as he commits that foul on James Nelson. Got a big yawn, mouth open wide. Big fella, you're playing college basketball. It's not a time to yawn. It's 20-16 as Nelson puts in the free throw to make it 21-16. 9 points for James Nelson. Trailblazers 3 of 7 at the charity stripe here early. 9:30 to play in the half. OCU down 3. Clermont with the basketball in black. OCU out of the Mideast region wearing the home white. 3 top of the key by Davis is no good. And Kenny Cooper the defensive rebound. Cooper to Russell, right side of Horton, 3 ball, back of the rim, no good. Nelson had a hand on it, but Lunkin takes it away for Clermont. Lunkin, a big boy, and not just because of his height, thick. Talking to Jason Moberly as there's a foul on the floor. It's going to be a hand check on Wesley Russell. He said, Rick, this young man is from Blanchester, Ohio. He said, that's farming country down there. This is a big farmer kind of boy in J.C. Lunkin. Again, playing in his 4th game with the team as Beeman fires a 3, no good. And Lunkin has been much needed after they lost Charles Doss at the semester and Willie Slusher towards the end of the semester. At the other end, bucket is good by Tolliver. Score the basket, and he was fouled. Jimmy Horton, the guilty party. It's the first on Horton, second on the team, and Darwin Tolliver with an 8-point first half, and he'll look for 9 with 1 more. But again, if you're just joining us, the Cougars lost a big chunk of production near the semester. Free throw is up and good as well. So Darwin Tolliver now at 9. Junior Willie Slusher, 13 points and 7.8 rebounds. Left the team towards the end of the first semester, and Charles Doss, the 6'7" freshman center from Independence, Kentucky, 10 points and 7.8 rebounds, was ineligible after the second semester, and the Trailblazers hammered these Cougars on the backboards to begin with. And it could have been really ugly tonight without the assistance of J.C. Lunkin, who joined this team at the semester. 8:36 to play, and James Nelson to the free throw line after the foul on Dylan Phillips, which is number 3 on Phillips here with 8:36 to play. And Phillips going to sit down, and they let him come in before I thought the first free throw from James Nelson. Not sure what that's all about. Maybe Nelson missed the first one and I didn't see it. You saw it on your screen, but so Big James missed a pair, and the score remains 23-17. 8:25 to play here in the first half. Rick Cooper, Fairfield Media, and the Ohio Christian University Trailblazer Basketball Network. Left side, Beeman again off the dribble drive. It was Wayne Evans that found a gap, and Kendall Beeman, team best 36% on threes, made him pay. And Kenny Cooper's shot underneath was blocked out of bounds by Kendall Beeman, and it'll stay with OCU. So felt like this was a game that was concerned about coming in. Even though the Trailblazers had won by 37 in November, you just felt like Clermont was better than that. Nelson underneath, no good. Little jump hook. Taken away, though, was the rebound by Bartlett. Picked the pocket of one of the Cougars, and a fresh 35. Russell, right wing, Kostoff's three is good. Milan Kostoff continues his hot shooting. And it's 26-20. The Trailblazers within 6. 7:43 to play first half. Right side, it's Wayne Evans. Evans underneath to Lunkin, who got free and put it in. Nelson was kind of fronting there, and they placed that interior pass perfectly on Lunkin's left hand away from Nelson, and he drop-stepped and went to the rim. 28-20. Lead is 8 for the Cougars. Russell right of center, dribbling with the left hand, working against the point guard for Clermont, Darwin Tolliver. Left baseline, Cooper underneath to Nelson. Nelson back out to Russell with shot clock in single digits. Shot clock down to 5. Nelson underneath, setting up Bartlett for 3. On the rim, no good. Offensive rebound. Nelson was blocked from behind by Tolliver, and a reach-in foul is going to be charged on one of the Trailblazers, and Kenny Cooper doing some talking. Better be careful because Mike McKee was listening to every word. One of the referees tonight. Foul is going to be charged on Kenny Cooper. It's his first, team third. Nelson will sit down here with 6:54 to play. Evan Mills is in. First appearance for Devin Benson, the 6'9 freshman from Mansfield that averages 5.1 points and 3.9 rebounds. So it is Benson underneath with some assistance from Mills, and Bartlett, Russell, and Kostoff on the wing. Lunkin underneath against Benson. Little step through, came over and blocked his shot, did Evan Mills. Taken away by Russell. Russell right wing, Bartlett. We'll bring it back out and reset. Benson right baseline, double teamed. Going to work against Lunkin. Rainbow shot, hit the front of the rim, no good. Ball batted around and taken away by Davis. Kostoff looked like he was fouled from behind, nothing called. Pass underneath is up and in. Good interior pass to Darwin Tolliver, who's in double digits with 11. Kostoff, another 3, back of the rim, no good. Rebound on the floor. Mills had it, lost it, and it goes out of bounds, apparently off one of the Trailblazers. Going to go back to UC-Clermont. Here comes Trey Vaughn. He'll check in for OCU, but not before we have another timeout on the floor. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. Called by John Hurley with 6:03 to play here in the first half. Today's game is brought to you by our good friends at Domino's Pizza. They are the exclusive pizza of the Trailblazer Basketball Network and OCU Athletics. Try Domino's handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. The medium 2-topping pan pizza is only $7.99 at Domino's Pizza, 207 Lancaster Pike in Circleville. Call 740-477-0949. 2541. Want to say thanks also to Jonna Thompson and the folks at the Circleville Subways. Multiple locations here in Circleville. Be sure to stop by and try January's featured $5 footlong sub, the Chipotle chicken and cheese at the Circleville Subways. Subway, eat fresh. Under 6 minutes to play in the half as Evans penetrates and dishes to Beeman. Now back to Evans. Another touch for their new big man, Lunkin. Little step through is nicely done. Very patient is Lunkin. He's going to wait for the defense to react and got Benson to move and take a little bit of the bait and finish nicely at the rim. 32-20. Russell at the other end, no good, but Beeman got him on the arm, and Wesley will shoot 2, and it's number 2 on Kendall Beeman, their leading scorer, who already has 11 in this first half. Free throws 10 and 11 for OCU. That's the good news. The bad news is they're 3 of 9 for 33% before these two, and the first one's up and in. Wesley Russell continues his hot shooting from the charity stripe, and the Trailblazers within 11, 32-21, 5:31 to play in the half. Russell bends the knees and hits again. 72% on the year is Wesley Russell. Good for third best on this team. Trey Vaughn shooting a torrid 88% from the line, 21 of 24 coming in. Beeman to Tolliver. Tolliver back out to Devin Davis. Underneath to Lunkin. Gonna get a touch. Goes back door to Tolliver. Put it up on that left baseline, but could not finish. Rebound Wesley Russell. Russell looking to run. Numbers not there. Brings it back out, then gets back in the lane. Puts it up on the rim, no good. Lunkin had a defensive rebound. Lost it out of his hands. And an outlet to Tolliver. Devin Benson took a shot to the face. Underneath, 3-ball, top of the key by Beeman, no good. Lunkin really banging underneath with a couple of these Trailblazers, and Benson still sluggish coming up the floor, and I think the referee Mike McKee sees it, and he has stopped play to take a look at Devin Benson. It looked like he took a shot to the mouth, but also grabbing his right eye in some obvious pain, so not sure exactly where he took the blow, but Benson, as you can see it on your screen, at midcourt in some obvious pain, and so the OCU training staff puts the gloves on and going to take a look at the freshman from Mansfield as James Nelson comes in to replace him. Nelson returns with 9 already here in the first 20 minutes. Crater right wing. Vaughn off a screen. Top of the key, 3, no good. And Devin Davis, the defensive rebound, but he put it on the floor and had it taken away by Evan Bartlett. Bartlett to Vaughn, his 3 left wing. Back of the rim, no good. Nelson again in a hand on the rebound, but it ends up in the hands of Wayne Evans. Clermont going to try to build on a 10-point advantage. They lead 32-22 as we near 4 minutes to play in the half. Lunkin out there showing screen, didn't really set a screen, but caught it and goes right wing to Davis. His 3 no good. Nelson up high to grab the defensive rebound. They get it to Bartlett, hounded by Beeman, who's playing with 2, and that's not a smart play by Kendall Beeman. And John Hurley not happy with Kendall Beeman. What are you doing 85 feet away from the basket, picking up your 3rd foul with 3:45 to play? That is not a good decision for a guy that has had a big part in this first half. So it's number 3 on Beeman. It's number 9 on the team, and it's going to take Evan Bartlett to the free throw line at the other end for a 1-and-1 opportunity here. Just one of those opportunities that you got to know the situation in the game. There's 3:45 to play in the half. I'm playing with 2 fouls. I probably should get back in transition and play good half-court defense and get into the intermission with 2 personals. Instead, Beeman now with 3, and that could have a huge bearing on this game. Second free throw by Bartlett is up and good again, so he hits a pair. It's 32-24. The lead down to 8 for UC-Clermont. Right wing, it's Tolliver, hands it off to the right baseline, and Robert Ingram, another guy that came onto this team at the end of the semester, 5'8" freshman from Newport High School, in Newport, Kentucky, just across the river from Cincinnati. 3:20 to play. Ingram's got it now. To Evans, off a screen from Lunkin, double team, goes back to the screener, Lunkin, who had it blocked from behind by Trayvon Crater. So the Trailblazers doing a nice job rotating on those screens. It looked like Lunkin was all alone as both OCU defenders on that pick and roll went with the guard, but Crater did a nice job coming over and providing some help. 32-24, 3 to beat the shot clock. Didn't hit the rim, so that's a 35-second shot clock violation. And the basketball back to OCU. 3:08 to play first half, 32-24. Trailblazers trailing by 8 with the basketball. Trayvon underneath to Nelson, quickly. Pump fakes, put it up and in. Nice first step by Nelson. It was fast, it gave him an advantage. And once he threw that pump fake, J.C. Lunkin was in big trouble. 32-26. Nelson, the first Trailblazer in double digits with 11. It has cut the OCU deficit to 6. Between the circles, it's Ingram. Lost the basketball. Bartlett to the ground, but could not retrieve it. Lunkin with 8 on the shot clock against Nelson. Little jump hook on the rim, no good. Mills, the defensive rebound for OCU. Quick outlet to Bartlett. Crater will fire a 3. Back of the rim, no good. Nelson, an offensive board. Nelson into the lane, dropped it in. As big as J.C. Lunkin is, he's still got a box out. He didn't do it. And that long carom and no box out gave James Nelson and the Trailblazers a second shot opportunity. 32-28. Under 2 minutes to play in the half. We'll talk to Mandy Ray coming up in halftime. We'll take a look at the first half numbers as well. Left side, jumper by Ingram is right there. 5'8" freshman, got into the lane and wreaked some havoc there. First 2 for him. And according to my numbers, first points as a Cougar for freshman Robert Ingram. 34-28. Cougars by 6. Right baseline Nelson, 12-footer, perfect. J.C. Lunkin doesn't want to go out there. You can see it in his demeanor, but if Nelson starts hitting those 15-footers, he's going to have to leave the lane and come out and challenge. 34-30. Nelson with 15 here in the half. Ingram on a beautiful spin into the lane, dropped it in. 4 for Robert Ingram, quickly off the bench. Bartlett will set things up for OCU. They trail by 6. We're under a minute to play. Left wing, it's Evan Mills. Looking underneath for Nelson again. Instead goes to Crater, right wing. Shot clock is at 15, about a 25-second differential. Crater underneath, and Nelson double dribbled. He sure did. He dribbled the basketball on the catch, then stopped and put it on the floor again. One of those calls that, if you play basketball, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you dribble in the process of catching it, and that's what Big James did there. And sometimes an official won't call it, but most of the time they do. Shot clock and game clock are basically identical. There's about a half-second differential between the two, so Clermont, for all intents and purposes, should have the final shot of this first half. They're going to go into the intermission with the lead. They lead right now by 6, 36-30. Game clock is now down to 8. Off a screen, it's Evans. Left wing, now to the middle of the floor. Tolliver, his runner with 3 seconds left, no good. Crater a rebound. Crater's half-court shot will count if it goes, and it hit the back of the rim. No good. He gave it an effort, did Trayvon Crater, but he comes up off the mark. And UC-Clermont, who lost by 37 to your Trailblazers just less than 2 months ago, have come into the Leadership Center tonight and said this basketball game is going to be quite different. 36-30 is our score at the intermission. Coming up, we'll look at the first half stats and a chat with Mandy Ray. All that coming up after this timeout here.
From Ohio Christian University, it's the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike, 740-477-2600. 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
Thank you for watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Back here in the Leadership Center, our score at halftime 36-30, and head coach Mandy Ray joins us here at the intermission to talk Lady Trailblazer basketball. And 72-59 the final earlier tonight. Coach, what were your initial thoughts on the outing, the loss tonight against the Cougars? As they turn out the lights, and I can't turn up your microphone when there's no lights. See if I can find that button to get Mandy Ray. There we go. Let's try that. Coach, your thoughts on the performance earlier today?
I thought we started the game a little bit slow. We were trying to be more patient on offense, and I think we kind of got, I don't know, we just kept saying we looked like we were in slow motion. I thought we came out, and we did some things well. We did some things better that we had been working on, but, we still had, gave up some offensive boards and couldn't get stops when we needed them down the stretch.
Offensively, I know you talked about it on Tuesday night. There just wasn't much flow. It wasn't, there's other issues too, but offensively, was it better tonight? Did you see some positives?
I thought we did things better, yeah. We've been trying to, if we don't have transition, get into something, and I think the first half and part of the second half, we were trying to get into a set every single time, which, we don't want to have to do that. We want to be able to go, just into our motion offense, and I think we did that late in the game, and people kind of just started to play a little bit instead of worrying about, trying to get a quick shot or running the play exactly how it was supposed to be. So, we saw some good things, but we obviously saw a lot we still need to work on.
Your thoughts just on that Clermont team. They remind me so much of you all. They're athletic. They love to make you pay with turnovers and then force you in transition. It just seems like this is one of those teams every year that you just continue to struggle with because they are so talented and so much like your squad.
Yeah, I think they're athletic and they have the quickness and they kind of play the same kind of game we do. I felt like tonight a big difference was just inside. I thought we had a hard time with Lee and really didn't have an answer for her, being able to keep her from getting the ball. When she got it really deep and scored. So, that really hurt us. But
the other issue, I saw your thoughts on Ashley Keith, number 4, really seemed like in that first half she caused a lot of problems by her ability to get into the lane and just wreak havoc. Yeah,
she's kind of a unique player too, because she's she's a guard, she's quick, she can shoot off the dribble, but if you put somebody smaller on her, like T or something, for example, to stay in front of her, then she's going to post them up, which she did to us in the first game. So we felt like we had to have a taller guard on her, or one of, like Ritz or one of our forwards guard her, just so she wouldn't be able to post them up. Right. But then she was beating us off the dribble. So
it's kind of pick your poison.
Matchup, yeah.
Asia had 17 today, 14 of them in the first half. Did they do anything in the second half that slowed her down, or was
no? I don't. We've been really focusing on not taking quick shots and playing with intensity and having a lot of energy on defense. And we had taken her out in the second half, just to kind of talk to her about that, and then just the way things went. Mm-hmm. She didn't get as many minutes in the second half. Wasn't necessarily because she had done anything, big wrong or anything like that. But, you know, Caitlin was playing well and was doing a pretty good job on Keith, and so we just kind of went with who we had. And
after a quiet night, Tuesday night for Shelby Rose, she scores 9 in the second half. Is that a good sign? I know she's been playing her best basketball of the year, but you kind of said post-game she was kind of MIA on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I mean, I think she definitely was looking for her shots more and was looking to score and was looking to be more involved. You know, we need to figure out how to get her better shots, I think, and not the ones she took were not typical Shelby shots off the dribble threes and things like that. She's normally more of a spot-up shooter and that kind of thing. So it was good to see that she knocked some of those down. It seemed like she had more points than she did because she hit those all in a row there. It looked like, you know, everyone's thinking she's just on fire, but yeah, I mean, I think she stepped up. She did some good things, and you know, we just got to bring everything together.
The one thing I thought Clermont did better than any team I've seen against you with Shelby is they didn't allow her any baseline threes off that inbound, that she has really made her living every time she caught it. Ashley Keith was waiting right there. I guess they scouted that play pretty well.
Yeah, and I think, too, I mean, once they switched and put her on her after she hit those few threes, I think she struggled. She's, you know, and she gives, I mean, she's quick, just like we talked about her being such a difficult matchup on offense. You know, defensively, she can, you know, give problems to your guards because she is so long and has long arms, and she definitely got up and was able to, I think she even tipped a couple of Shelby's threes late in the game. So, yeah, they were definitely prepared, and, you know, number 4, Keith, she really, you know, took it personally to shut people down and not let Shelby really get hot.
Yep, she took pride in her defense tonight for sure. I asked you this Tuesday night, no rest for the weary in terms of what you have coming up. Tuesday night, Ohio Midwestern, only 6 girls, but these 6 girls are pretty talented. They've knocked off a couple good teams. Your thoughts on Tuesday night?
Yeah, we got to be ready to go. We're going to come back in and practice in the morning, and you know, get another practice in Monday before the game Tuesday, and you know, we got to be ready for a scrappy game, ready for, you know, to get up and down the floor a lot, look to push the tempo, and really rebound, and just be ready to be physical and be ready for a battle.
And hopefully, I would just knowing they've got 6 girls, you talk so much about your depth. Obviously, that would hopefully be a key Tuesday night to kind of wear them down a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Their coach was asking me about media timeouts because I'm there. He said, we're going to have media timeouts. He wanted them. He was begging. He was ready to buy my dinner to get media timeouts, but no such luck. So, Coach, thanks for coming by, and we'll carry that game Tuesday night. Look forward to talking to you then. So,
all right, thank you.
That's the head coach of the Lady Trailblazers, Mandy Ray. The Trailblazers fall tonight by the final of 72-59. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. We'll give you some of the first half numbers. Coming up next, the one that matters, though, is Clermont on top right now by 6:30. This is the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
Well, obtaining a college degree is important to me because I'm a single mother. I work full-time and I want a better life for me and my son, and I realize I'm the only one that can do that.
I needed the convenience of being able to work full-time, as well as still get my bachelor's degree in psychology, as well as be a part of a family and be a wife.
Obtaining a college degree to me means that I can further my career in getting a better job, as well as you know, meeting my end goal, which would be to become a professor someday.
Here at Ohio Christian University, we offer programs in a convenient format to help serve the adult that might not have time to go to school during the day or take classes multiple days during the week. We offer classes 1 night a week. You take 1 class at a time, either in an on-site format, or if you prefer online, we offer online classes just the same, 1 class at a time.
The AGS program is set up to where it's very convenient for me as a working adult to be able to still obtain my bachelor's degree.
The flexibility is very good with the AGS program. I can do my homework whenever I have time, whether it's at night or if I'm up early in the morning, I can do it at that time. And really, you can work a full-time job and go to school full-time at the same time. So convenience is one of the greater advantages to the AGS program.
The sky is the limit with the flexibility at Ohio Christian University.
You have the option to attend class at one of our 12 locations, and you can choose whichever is most convenient, closest to your home or closest to your workplace.
If that doesn't work for you, you also have the option to take class online without ever having to step foot into a classroom. One other neat aspect is that you only have to register for all of your classes one time. There's no standing in line and no additional waiting.
We invite you to attend Ohio Christian University.
.36-30 is our halftime score. We're back here on the campus of Ohio Christian University. They call this fine facility the Maxwell Leadership Center, again named in honor of the motivational speaker, author, and OCU alum, Mr. John Maxwell. And one of our sponsors that helped us bring you these basketball broadcasts tonight is our good friends at Domino's Pizza. They've got a handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. It's a medium 2-topping pan pizza, and it's available right now for only $7.99 at Domino's Pizza, 207 Lancaster Pike in Circleville. Call 740-477-2541. Taking a look at some of the team statistics that matter in this first half in terms of the battle of the backboards. OCU dominated that statistic on November 30th tonight. UC-Clermont +6, 36-30 advantage there. Both teams doing a pretty good job taking care of the basketball. Clermont with 7 turnovers, OCU with 6. In terms of shooting percentages, Trailblazers 34% from the field, 11 of 32. Clermont 43% from the field, 15 of 35. Clermont has hit 5 threes in this first half, 5 of 13 for 39%. OCU only 1 of 11 for 9% on threes in the first 20 minutes. Clermont made their only free throw attempt. The Trailblazers 7 of 12 from the charity stripe for 58%. Leading rebounder in that first half for UC-Clermont with 5 boards was Kendall Beeman, the leading rebounder for OCU with 4 rebounds. Couple guys, James Nelson, the starting center, and Wesley Russell, the starting 2 guard. Leading scorer for OCU is James Nelson with 15 on 7 of 9 shooting. Kendall Beeman and Darwin Tolliver both with 11 points in that first half. Tolliver 5 of 10 from the field, including 0 of 1 on threes. Kendall Beeman 4 of 9 from the field, 3 of 6 from three-point range. Both of those guys, again, with 11 points. Leading assist man, Tolliver and Evans with 3 assists apiece for UC-Clermont, and Wesley Russell with 3 assists for OCU. Again, the Trailblazers 34% from the field, only 9% on threes, and UC-Clermont 43% from the field, 39% on threes. Behind Kendall Beeman and Darwin Tolliver's 11 points, they have a 36-30 halftime lead here at the intermission. The Lady Cougars knocked off your Trailblazers earlier tonight, 72-59. The Cougars improved to 13-14, and OCU drops to 9-10. The Lady Trailblazers not back in action until Tuesday night when they host Ohio Midwestern College in this building. That'll be our next broadcast for you. It'll be a video broadcast on Tuesday night. There is a men's game Tuesday night, but we will have the women only, Ohio Midwestern and OCU, Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Airtime with the pregame show is set for 5:40. So why don't we take one more break, a 60-second timeout. Second half action is next. It's Clermont 36, OCU 30. This is the Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike, 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
If you're enjoying today's game, watch it again at trailblazerbasketball.tv.
Just about set for the second half here in the Leadership Center. OCU trailing by 6. UC-Clermont in the visiting black uniforms. Trailblazers in their home white. Clermont will have it first, moving left to right here in the second half. Trailblazers looking to improve to 12-7. They are back in action on Tuesday night in this building against WVU, the Parkersburg branch of West Virginia University. Underneath, Lunkin, double pump, no good. Got another rebound, put it up, no good. Tip, no good. Finally into the hands of Beeman. Little step through, and he put it in. Good effort underneath in the land of the Giants by Kendall Beeman and J.C. Lunkin. It's 38-30. Cougars by 8. Nelson backing Lunkin down. Picks up his dribble, goes cross court to Bartlett, who fires a 3 and hits. I love it. Inside out. That's what head coach Tony Stockman has been preaching. He wants touches for the bigs. He wants them kicking it out to the shooters, and you don't do it any better than James Nelson did it right there, and Bartlett capitalizes by hitting the 3. 38-33. It's a 5-point advantage. Left side, it's Tolliver into the lane, dropped it off to Beeman. Just left of center, Davis. Pass deflected by Trey Vaughn before it goes left wing to Wayne Evans. Freshman out of Portsmouth underneath to Lunkin, who gets it right back to Evans. 12-footer in the lane, came up short. Evan Mills the rebound. Mills an outlet to Bartlett to the left wing and Russell. Wesley's been quiet again tonight, only 3 points. Came in averaging better than 17. He was very quiet Tuesday night at KCU. So see if they can get him going a little bit. Russell with it now, top of the key. Did have 3 assists in that first half to lead OCU in that category. And there goes Russell into the lane, went to the left hand and dropped it in. So 5 points for Wesley Russell, 38-35. Trailblazers within 1 possession. They trailed 36-30 at the intermission. And a deflected pass out of bounds as Tolliver tried to go left wing to Kendall Beeman. Beeman's going to inbound right in front of some of the OCU fans. Had several events going on tonight here on campus. Some youth group nights where you get in free, get some free pizza. So a good crowd here for that, and a couple sports teams here as well. So a good crowd on a cold Friday night here in Circleville. And there's a steal on a lazy pass from Evans, but it's turned over right back by OCU. Davis back to Tolliver, who dropped it in. 13 for Darwin Tolliver. It's 40-35. Missed opportunity there for the Trailblazers after an ill-advised pass by one of the Cougars. Right wing Vaughn got an inch and fires a 3. Did everything but stay down. Rebound taken away by Tolliver. Tolliver into the lane. 6-footer on the run. Front of the rim and drops in. 15 for the junior Darwin Tolliver. So he said earlier did not play in that November 30th meeting with a groin issue. Vaughn right baseline, no. But he was fouled by Devin Davis and will shoot 2. Foul on Devin Davis is his first, team's first. Here in the final 20 minutes, and a couple free throws coming up for Trey Vaughn, who is shooting 88% from the charity stripe. 21 of 24 coming in. It's best on the team, and make it 22 of 25 as Trey Vaughn hits his first free throw, and that at the 17:08 mark is Vaughn's first point of the game. Vaughn, the junior from Uniontown, Ohio, bends the knees and hits again. So Trey Vaughn hits a pair, and the OCU deficit is down to 5, 42-37, with 17 minutes to play in the game. Right side, it's Wayne Evans. Evans to Tolliver into the lane. Another little runner, no good. But Lunkin, an offensive rebound, and this time he finishes. So J.C. Lunkin with his 3rd field goal. 6 points in the game. Vaughn right back at him. Lunkin and Nelson really banging underneath. James has got him sealed. Now Lunkin gets around and forces a front, but good matchup there. Lunkin with a big forearm up high as he and Nelson really going at it underneath. Nelson with it left baseline. Nelson again, back to the basket, picks up his dribble. Back out to Bartlett, long 3, left side of the iron, no good. And the rebound caroms around into the hands of Tolliver. It's a 3-on-2 break. Tolliver, here's Davis for 3, no good, and Wesley Russell the rebound. Good box out by Evan Bartlett as he shielded the shooter Davis, who ended up committing the personal foul. The foul on Davis is his 2nd and the team's 2nd. Davis, a big boy, only listed at 6 foot, but one of those guys that just a wide body at 6 foot, that big and strong, and give credit to Evan Bartlett. Did a nice job boxing him out. And I just saw Mike McKee, one of the referees in this game, talking to Lunkin about getting that forearm down. I don't know if you can see it on your screen, but big 52 in black, as I said, really banging with Nelson and had that forearm up high near James' chest and neck. And Mike McKee said, get it down. You can use the forearm. You can actually put a forearm, one in the back of the offensive player down in the block, but you can't keep it up at neck level. That's a no-no. Left side, it's Evans. Shows 3, instead tried dribble driving, and it's deflected and taken away by Wesley Russell. Collier coming in for OCU at the next break. Cooper underneath to Nelson. Nice interior pass to Russell, who put it up. It bounced around and finally dropped in. And 7 for Wesley Russell. I'm not sure if there was a warning to 2 players from James Foster, or if it was a delay of game warning. Either way, he stopped play to scold somebody. James Nelson going to sit down with 15 as Joe Collier is back in. And so then the million-dollar question is Devin Benson done for the day? Remember, he took a shot to the mouth, to the face area, and he is on the OCU bench right now, but Tony Stockman electing to go with Joe Collier here instead of Devin Benson, and you got to wonder if maybe Benson is done for the day. 44-39 to Tolliver. His runner in the lane is right there. Got by the initial defender, and there was absolutely nobody wearing white providing help, and Tolliver makes him pay. Russell, stop and start, score the basket, and he was fouled. Foul is going to be charged to 23, Darwin Tolliver. It's his first. Team third, Wesley Russell with points 8 and 9, and we'll look for 10 with the free throw. You hear so much about the ability to change speeds, and Russell showed why that's so valuable right there as he put it up and in. You almost want to lull a guy to sleep by moving a little slower than you can, and then when you turn up the speed, he is in big trouble, and that's what happened right there. Russell converts, give him 10, and it's 46-42 with 14:38 to play in the game. Off a screen, Evans, middle of the floor, drops it off to Beeman. Their leading scorer into the lane, put it off high off the rim. No good. Collier the defensive rebound. Trailblazers could get within 2 and maybe 1. Russell into the lane, 15-footer, he hits again. Tony Stockman must have been thinking what I was thinking at halftime. Where the heck is Wesley Russell? He has been quiet, been a non-factor, and they have made a concerted effort to get the sophomore Russell involved, and he has a dozen, 9 of them here in the first 5 minutes of this second half. John Hurley doesn't like it, and he wants to make some adjustments. He's called a full timeout. We'll take it with him. We'll take a 30-second timeout. 14-12 to play in the game. OCU within 2, 46-44. This is the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike. 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
If you're enjoying today's game, watch it again at trailblazerbasketball.tv.
14-12 to play in the game. OCU within 2, 46-44. They trailed by 6 at halftime, so a little mini run by the team in white and blue that has cut this deficit down to 2. As we said, Trailblazers back in action in this building next Tuesday against WVU Parkersburg, an 8 p.m. tip. They go on the road a week from tonight at Johnson, a 7 p.m. tip, and then stay on the road. The Tennessee trip next Saturday, 3 p.m. at Crown College. In Knoxville area as well. So 2 next week in the Mideast region, and there's a turnover as Tolliver lost it. Russell grabs it, and he will set things up on the left wing. Trailblazers with an opportunity to tie or possibly take the lead. Russell for 3, got it! He's heating up. Wesley Russell with 15, and OCU has taken a 47-46 lead. Tell you what, right on cue. I asked 5 or 6 minutes ago where Russell was. We got to get him involved, and now 12 points later in this second half, he has given OCU their first lead in a long time, but Wayne Evans says not just yet, as Evans connects on her first points of the game, comes in averaging 7. He's in the books with his first 3, and it's 49-47. Back at the other end, Horton into the lane. No good. Horton an offensive rebound. Shot no good, but he was fouled. Beeman is in there. Davis is in there, and they're going to charge Kendall Beeman with his 4th personal foul at the 13:08 mark. And Clermont with a 49-47 lead. So John Hurley with a decision, and it looks like it's going to be no decision as J.C. Lunkin to the table and likely coming in for Beeman with those 4 fouls. First free throw for Horton is up and in. Free throw 16 and 17 for OCU, and Jimmy Horton, the freshman from East Tech High School, in the books with his first point of the game. It is Beeman that sits down with 13 points and 4 fouls. And a technical foul on whom? Kendall Beeman just fouled out of this basketball game. He got hit with a tee leaving the floor, and that will be number 5 on Kendall Beeman. John Hurley can't believe it. He's up. Assistant Jason Moberly, as you can see, on the bench as well, but they're looking for an explanation. Looked like Beeman had gone to the bench and was already out of the game. And folks, if you don't follow basketball, a lot of technical foul counts as a personal foul. And while they're doing all this, Danny Schrock is at the charity stripe shooting free throws. Schrock with his first point. John Hurley, who was kicked out of this building 2 years ago. And now he's given an explanation. Is James Foster exactly why he made that call? And now they're asking Kendall Beeman exactly what he said. He did make the first free throw. Made both free throws on the technical. Is that what we just had? Made one, missed the other, did Danny Schrock, and so that's the T. Now, I got a question. If that's on Kendall Beeman, that's number 5. They have not put a 5th foul on that scoreboard. Free throw by Jimmy Horton is no good. I'm confused. 49-49. Right side, Davis just hit a 3. 9 for Devin Davis. It's 52-49. Next full timeout, we'll get an explanation. I think Kendall Beeman, their leading scorer, is out of this game. He left with 4. A T would make it number 5, but I can't confirm that for sure right now. 52-49. Left side, it's Tolliver. Nelson is not in there, neither is Benson, and Lunkin, smelling blood against Kenny Cooper, wants it underneath. Instead, jumper left side is no good. Offensive rebound, however, Wayne Evans. Evans to Tolliver, dumps it back to Evans. Lunkin wants a touch, working against Russell, backing down, double team, drops it off to Tolliver, quick catch, 6-footer, no good. Rebound Wesley Russell, who fires it to Schrock, who did a great job just catching it at the right baseline. Crater got the step, Crater to the lane, put it up, and they're going to call it travel. Apparently took an extra step, and Crater says that's a jump stop, coach. That wasn't a travel, but Tony Stockman not arguing the call, instead giving an earful to Trayvon Crater, and what? I think it's a full timeout that John Hurley has just called at the 11:55 mark, and that's going to give me an opportunity to find out if Kendall Beeman is out of this game. We'll take a break, 60-second timeout, 11:55 to play. Clermont 52, OCU 49. This is the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike, 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
If you're enjoying today's game, watch it again at trailblazerbasketball.tv.
Thank you. Yeah. Back here in the Leadership Center, and they charged it to the bench of UC-Clermont, and not specifically to number 10, Kendall Beeman, which is mind-boggling to me. 52-49, so that means Beeman is still on the bench, and he is still in this game. 13 points and 4 fouls, but a technical. It does not get charged as a fifth personal. I got a good friend that's an official. I'll get some clarification a little bit later on. 52-49, 11:30 to play. Lundkin off some dribble drive, left block. Nelson blocked his shot. Lundkin got it again, no good. And finally, Kenny Cooper, the defensive rebound. Cooper to Russell. Russell between the legs and behind the legs, and what a foul on the floor, and Russell put it in. They're not going to count the basket, but they're going to charge the foul to Devin Davis. Foul on Davis is his third and the team fifth. 11:17 to play, 52-49. Jimmy Horton to inbound to the right wing, and Russell. Russell shows three instead. On the floor to the right baseline, Nelson. Nelson into the lane, left-handed scoop, no good. And the rebound taken away by Clermont's Darwin Tolliver. Tolliver to Wayne Evans. Evans goes right wing to Davis. Trailblazers in man-to-man here. Right wing, it's Evans. Lundkin wants a touch, and he threw it away. Did Wayne Evans. Lundkin gestured like he wanted the basketball. Big fella hadn't sealed off James Nelson, and so he set up Evans for a bad pass because he didn't have James Nelson sealed. There's another turnover by OCU. 52-49. 10:30 to play in the game. OCU fans having some fun with somebody on the Clermont bench. Wish JT Burcham and his crew could get a shot of a couple of these guys going crazy in the stands. Shot clock is down to 5. Tolliver looking to operate. Tolliver, 17-footer, never got there, and that should be a 35-second violation. Horn never went off, but that's exactly what it was, and it's a turnover back to OCU. 52-49, under 10 minutes to play in the game. Horton to the left wing, and Wesley Russell. Russell picks up his dribble, and Nelson underneath against Lundkin. And he had his pocket pick taken away by Evans. Evans lost it to Russell, and it goes out of bounds off Wesley. Back to OCU. Trayvon Crater, James Nelson, Wesley Russell, Kenny Cooper, and Jimmy Horton, your OCU starting lineup. Trailblazers within 3 after trailing by 6 at the intermission. 9:30 to play in the game. Underneath, it's Dylan Phillips. Fans want to travel on Phillips. That wasn't called. A couple fans really animated, and a hand check is going to be called on Trayvon Crater near the top of the key. The foul on Crater is his first, team first. Kenny Cooper will sit down for OCU as Milan Kostov and Evan Mills are back in. Crater will sit down as well. Mills back with 4. Milan Kostov had that 3 in the first half. He returns with 3, and 52-49, 9:19 to play in the game, and going to bring some OCU personnel out onto the floor and maybe pointing somebody out in the stands that is making life difficult for the men in stripes. And they're not going to start this game, I think, until they pull somebody from this arena. I think that's what just happened. I think referee or umpire Mike McKee just came over and said, I've had enough of somebody in the stands. And Ben Bellarmine, they pay him the big bucks to come and do this part of the job where they have to inform somebody that they're leaving this basketball game early. That's my hunch. That's what I think is about to happen. As there is a stoppage in play, as Ben Bellarmine, the athletic director here at OCU, will make his way over and inform a fan in the front row, along with, I guess, 4 other fans, that they have left the big dance early. So 9:19 to play, and they send those fans out and maybe at least giving them a talking to. Now one of them's going to leave, 4 get to come back in. Evans, as we get back to basketball, no good. Phillips tried to grab the rebound but could not do it, and it's taken away by OCU. Trailblazers within 3. They could tie it here with a 3. Horton to Wesley Russell, now to Nelson, or make that Mills to Kostoff. Back to Russell, 15 on the shot clock, 8:48 to play in the game. Screen sets up Russell for 3, and he hits again. They continue to go under that screen, worried about James Nelson rolling to the basket. They better start keeping an eye on Wesley Russell. He's got 15 here in the second half and 18 for the game, which is a team high. And ball slapped out of bounds by Milan Kostoff. It'll stay with the Cougars. Game tied at 52, 8:29 to play in the game. As we told you earlier tonight, Trailblazers dominated UC-Clermont 91-54 at Clermont as they get a turnover here and get the basketball back. You just knew, as good as this Clermont program has been over the years, that it wasn't going to be that easy tonight, even in the Leadership Center, and it hasn't been. Clermont has led almost entirely in this game. Trailblazers with a 3 by Russell have tied it at 52 as we near 8 minutes to play in the game. Russell working against Tolliver, jumped by Davis nicely. Russell now to the free throw line extended, raises up and nearly hit again. Mills, an offensive rebound, established himself and put it in. He threw a pump fake and J.C. Luntkin took the bait, and it left Mills easily with an easy 2 to put it up and in. 54-52, left side Evans. Thought about a 3, instead now looking underneath. Backdoor, Ingram got free and put it in. Milan Kostoff lost sight of Ingram, who went backdoor on that right side, and they found him in stride. He's got 6 points in this game. Kostoff dumped it off to Mills, who tried to flush it, but could not do it. He was fouled and will go to the line. Ingram, the guilty party. It's his first and the team's 6th. And to the free throw line is the sophomore from Columbus, Ohio, Evan Mills. 76% free throw shooter on the year. Again, second best on this team, and the first one drops in. Mills came in at 22 of 29 from the charity stripe. Second only to Trey Vaughn at 21 from 24 for 88%. The second one is up and in. So Evan Mills now with 8, and OCU with a 56-54 advantage. 7:28 to play in the game. Evans off a screen from Devin Davis. Now picked up by Kostoff. Kostoff guarding him tightly. Dumps it off to Robert Ingram, who joined this team second semester. And Ingram just threw the basketball away. Kostoff to the other end. Went to the left hand. Could not finish. Mills had a hand on the offensive rebound. Mills underneath. Turnaround 6-footer on the rim. No good. Mills another offensive rebound, and OCU will reset. They lead by 2 as we go under 7 minutes to play in the game. Mills really banging with Davis as you see it near the left block. Wants the basketball, instead goes away to the right baseline. Russell open for another 3, back of the rim, no. Nearly dropped in for Wesley Russell. He's human, finally misses does Russell here in the second half. Left elbow, Evans. Very calm, cool, and collected. Hits the 15-footer from the left elbow. Tied at 56, 6:30 to play in the game. Jimmy Horton will bring it up here for OCU with Evan Bartlett, the starting point guard on the OCU bench. Russell left wing. Mills wants it against Davis. Gets a cut, a touch, immediately double team. Here's Nelson for three. Again, it's the inside out. It's a little unusual as it was Evan Mills at the block and James Nelson top of the key. But good things happen when you get touches at the block. Tony Stockman's been begging for the inside out all season long. Sometimes he gets it and sometimes he doesn't. Ingram forced one there. No good. Nelson blocked his second effort. Kostoff looking to run. Kostoff into the lane. Put it up and in. He took it right at Darwin Tolliver. 5 for Milan Kostoff. 61-56. The Trailblazers, a little breathing room. They lead by 5. 5:30 to play in the game as the Trailblazer fans and youth groups begin to chant OCU. Right baseline or right wing, I should say, it's Ingram. Ingram back out to Evans, who will set things up with 13 on the shot clock. Tolliver off a screen from Lunkin. In and out on the 17-footer, and everybody wearing white shirts underneath the basket. Nelson grabs the board. Big possession here is Kendall Beeman at the table with the 4 fouls. He'll check in at the next dead ball. Under 5 minutes to play in the game. Right wing, it's Nelson. Thought about a 3, instead puts it on the floor, and now fires a 3, and it hits it! Big James heating up with 21 points in the game. He has hit 2 threes in a row, and OCU has extended their biggest lead of the game. It's 63-56. The big fella saying, get on my back, I'll take you to the promised land. Nelson with 21, and John Hurley wants a full timeout. 60-second break. Trailblazers 63, Cougars 56. This is the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
You're watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike. 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
If you're enjoying today's game, watch it again at trailblazerbasketball.tv.
(63-56) Trailblazers again. They trailed by 7 or by 6, 36-30 at the intermission. They now lead by 7 with 4:35 to play in a very entertaining, though low-scoring basketball game. Beeman is back in with those 4 fouls and 13 points. Davis underneath to Dylan Phillips. Little turnaround from 8 feet is too strong, and Russell with the rebound. Long outlet to Nelson, who tried to raise up and drop it in, and he was fouled and will go to the line and shoot 2. Foul is going to be charged on Dylan Phillips. Phillips hasn't been able to do too much tonight. He's been plagued with foul trouble the entire night. That's number 4 on Dylan Phillips. It's number 7 on the team. That means OCU will shoot free throws on every Clermont foul the rest of the way, and the free throw is up and in for big James Nelson. OCU unofficially 13 of 23 at the charity stripe for 57%, and make it 14 of 24 or 15 of 24 as Nelson hits again. The lead all of a sudden is up to 9. This is where Clermont has had their troubles finishing, being consistent, not throwing in the towel, and a foul is going to be called on James Nelson, who was battling with Dylan Phillips just off that right block. The foul on Nelson is his first, team second. And Devin Davis will inbound for the Cougars underneath their own basket. 4:01 to play. Quick inbound to Beeman, who fires a three. Front of the rim, no good. Evan Mills up high to grab the defensive rebound. Mills to Nelson. He beat him down the floor, and he scored again. How about that? It's 6'8". The big fella beating people down the floor in transition. And OCU with a double-digit lead of their own at 67-56. It's Devin Davis, guarded by Kostoff. Will raise up over Milan. His three in and out. A lot of one-on-one right now for the team wearing black. OCU getting better looks on the offensive set, and in no hurry here as we get near 3 minutes to play in the game. Lead is 11. Right wing Mills. Beeman stole the basketball. Beeman going to go to the other end and finger roll it up and in. So big basket there by Beeman. It cuts the lead to 9 when OCU had an opportunity to possibly go up 13. They better get it across here, and they don't get it across. Referee right on top of it. You can't look at the shot clock. The referee does his own count, but it should be close to what the shot clock is doing, and James Foster called that 10-second violation exactly when that shot clock was at 25, and so Foster right on top of that. It's another OCU turnover, and don't you go anywhere yet, though. Jimmy Horton with a steal off the inbound. That's a big turnover. 2:48 to play in the game, and the Cougars can't even get it in on an inbound. Left wing, it's Evan Mills. Mills to Russell, just inside that three-point line to Nelson, right elbow. Working against Phillips, who's playing with 4 fouls. Left wing Russell, got the step, dumped it off to Mills, tried to wham it in. Didn't get it in clean, but still finished, and he looks over with a big smile and gets a smile back from DJ Malone, Tony Stockman, Jamie Batten, and the OCU staff. 69-58, 2:15 to play. Lead is 11. Beeman with it, left wing to Tolliver. Around the horn to Wayne Evans. Back out to Beeman. Working against Wesley Russell. Beeman to the free throw line extended. Back out to Tolliver. Shot clock is at 10, and Tolliver threw it away. Russell to the other end, behind the back to Mills, and Mills couldn't control it. Russell threw it too low. Davis going to try to make him pay, and does. 11 for Devin Davis. Russell would have been better off just taking it right to the basket and probably forcing a foul. Instead, tried a behind-the-back pass that was thrown at the ankles of Evan Mills. 69-61. Exactly 90 seconds to play in the game. Clermont with 7 fouls as a team, so OCU will have to shoot the 1-and-1 on every foul the rest of the way, and Nelson fouled as he tried to get into the lane, and I think it's on Dylan Phillips, and if it is, that is number 5, and it is. So Dylan Phillips, no points and 5 fouls tonight. He was absolutely a non-factor, got the start tonight at center, came in averaging 3.5 points and 3.8 rebounds, and has dug himself a hole with the fouls and could never get out of that hole. Here comes J.C. Lunkin that will check in. John Hurley wastes no time. He gets 30 seconds to make that substitution, but did it immediately, and so now James Nelson will go to the line, and he will shoot the 1-and-1 here with 1:20 to play. 69-61. Nelson, a 50% free throw shooter, and the first one rim backboard, rimming in. Big James got to be getting close to a career high, 26 tonight for the senior from Dayton, Ohio, and the second one is no good. Lunkin had a hand on it, but Russell ends up with the rebound. It's a fresh 35, and OCU going to get fouled here by Darwin Tolliver as the Cougars can wait no more, trailing by 9 with 1:15 left. Stick around after the game for the post-game show. We'll take a quick look at the final statistics. We'll check in with Tony Stockman and maybe an OCU player as well. All that coming up on the post-game show after this one is over. First free throw by Russell is up and in. 19 points in the game, and Trailblazers now 17 of 26 unofficially from the charity stripe. One more for Wesley Russell, and he hits again. Tell you what, it is a luxury to have a guy like Russell that handles the ball as much as he does, able to shoot free throws at the clip that he does. And a foul at the other end by Wesley Russell is his second and the team's third. It's not a bad foul. It wasn't any act of shooting, and Trailblazers not over the limit, so all it does is slow down UC-Clermont and chew up a little bit more clock. 1:10 left to play in the game. John Hurley's called a timeout. It's a 30. We'll keep it right here. Gives us an opportunity one more time to tell you about Domino's Pizza and their delicious handmade pan pizza with 2 layers of cheese, toppings to the edge, and a crust made from fresh dough. A medium 2-topping pan pizza is only $7.99 at Domino's Pizza, 207 Lancaster Pike in Circleville. Call 740-477-2541. Handed out a bunch of pizzas tonight as part of their loudest fan contest. We thank them for that. And about 70 pizzas bought tonight for these students and youth groups that are here. We'll get to enjoy some pies after the game. Compliments of the OCU athletic and admissions departments. Top of the key, Beeman missed the 3. Rebound Evans, back to Beeman. His 3 came up short. And Wesley Russell, the defensive rebound. Trailblazers are going to win this game after trailing by 6 at the intermission. They're going to outscore OCU by Clermont by, 17 right now in this second half. And a foul is going to be charged on 24, Wayne Evans. It's his third, team 10th. And so Evan Mills to the line to shoot 2 free throws, regardless of what he does here on the first. Clermont was supposed to play tomorrow, like the Clermont women, at Kent State Tuscarawas, but Kent State earlier in the year called and said, it was actually December 1st they were supposed to play in Batavia, and they called and said, we're not coming. It's a forfeit, and we're going to forfeit the other one as well, as Beeman races to the other end and puts it in. He's got 17. And the clock stops after every made basket in the final minute, and referee or umpire James Foster says, I want that to have 48.6 left after the Beeman bucket. But anyway, the Clermont women headed to Kent State Tuscarawas tomorrow. The Clermont men are not back in action until Tuesday at Brescia, and a turnover there on a pass from Jimmy Horton to nobody. About as imaginary of a player as, how do you say that guy's name at Notre Dame? Mano Mateo's girlfriend. There's nobody there. 73-63, and because that ball was not touched, the Cougars get to inbound all the way underneath their own basket. Lead is 10. Tolliver looking, nearly threw it away, and he did. Trying to get it to Beeman all the way out at the left forecourt, and the ball goes out of bounds back to OCU, and Tony Stockman wants a timeout just to make sure that this thing is going to finish the way he wants. 47.9 seconds left. We'll keep it right here with a 30-second timeout. Tell you that our next broadcast is Tuesday night, women only. OCU and Ohio Midwestern. It should be a good one. Ohio Midwestern with wins this year at Worcester. Nearly knocked off a good Walsh team as well. I think lost that basketball game by 2 or 3 points. And they only have 6 ladies on the roster left, but apparently they can play. They went down to KCU and were trailing by 3 late in that game. Shot a 3. It didn't go in. They got an offensive rebound and dropped a putback in at the buzzer, and there was a foul. They made the free throw, forced overtime, and knocked off the KCU Lady Knights. So this is a team that the Lady Trailblazers will take very seriously as they come into this Leadership Center on Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Fairfield Media will be here. Airtime with the pregame show is 5:40. Foul on Darwin Tolliver is his third, and the team over the limit. So Wesley Russell to the line to shoot 2. First one is right there. 21 points for Wesley Russell. 18 of those here in the second half. Again, he was quiet, and out of nowhere, boy, can he turn things on. Second one is no good. So Russell splits a pair, 74-63 with 42 seconds to play. Devin Davis with it for Clermont. Be sure to stick around after the game for the post-game show as Davis fires a 3, no good, and A technical foul is called on, I believe, Kendall Beeman. And the OCU fans letting him know that his night is over. Beeman, I don't think he got called for a personal. Milan Kostov going to shoot the technical. Not sure if it was a foul and a tee. We'll find out here in a minute as Kostov hits the first free throw. He's got a half dozen. I thought he should have been kicked out earlier with that fifth foul, that technical, but apparently was able to stay, and maybe justice is served as the second one is good as well. So apparently there was no personal foul. It was strictly a tee, and that tee does count as a fifth personal. Shot clock is off, 76-63, so OCU does not have to shoot it here, and Milan Kostov going to just dribble the basketball as 15 seconds left. Kostov into the lane, still continues to dribble, and the Trailblazers are going to sweep the season series against UC-Clermont. They had a 37-point win in Batavia. It was a much tougher battle tonight, trailing by 6 at the intermission, but they win tonight by the final of 76-63. Coming up the post-game show, we'll take a look at some of the final numbers. We'll check in with head coach Tony Stockman and possibly an OCU player. All that is coming up on the post-game show. Trailblazers win 76-63. This is the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network.
For assistance, call Ohio Christian University at 1-877-7-OCU now, or visit us at ohiochristian.edu.
You're watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike, 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young minds to have a Christian worldview while providing an education of excellence. Learn more at fairfieldchristianacademy.com.
If you're enjoying today's game, watch it again at trailblazerbasketball.tv.
I knew that attending Ohio Christian University
would prepare me for whatever lies ahead.
What I didn't know is how I would pay for my education.
I wondered how complex the process was, and if I would be eligible to receive financial aid.
Well, that's when I found the OCU Financial Aid website.
At Ohio Christian, the process is simple.
The OCU Financial Aid website provided me with the information I needed to start and complete the process. I learned how to fill out my free application for federal student aid. Soon after completing my FAFSA, an Ohio Christian Financial Aid counselor determined which aid was available for me and answered all my questions about my options.
Options like grants and work study,
student loans and scholarships.
An Ohio Christian University education is within my reach.
If you are concerned about finances, as I used to be, I encourage you to take the next step. Fill out your FAFSA today.
For assistance, call Ohio Christian University at 1-877-7-OCU now, or visit us at ohiochristian.edu.
Back here in the Maxwell Leadership Center, Rick Cooper and the OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network. It is a final. Was a little bit nervous at halftime. I was nervous coming into this game. I knew how good this program has been at UC-Clermont over the years. You just had a feeling this wasn't going to be a 37-point win tonight, and it wasn't. The Cougars led 36-30 at the intermission, but OCU outscores UC-Clermont 46-27 in the second half, and they win tonight by the final of 76-63. And Head coach Tony Stockman is going to join us. Somebody took your chair, Coach Stockman. You turn your head in this building and you lose your chair. I don't know what happened, but big James Nelson making his way over to the table as well. And James, you want to just come up here, big fella? That'd be great. So throw a headset on him and get some thoughts, and then talk to the head coach Tony Stockman. And first of all, big fella, congrats on the win. Your thoughts on what was a much tougher test than the one in Batavia in November. Your thoughts tonight on the win?
Well, it kind of started out slow. Coach kept getting on us about defense, so I think really second half the team got it together, started moving the ball, stopped forcing it, and got the looks we wanted.
You really were aggressive tonight. Did you feel like you had an advantage down there? You had that big game at UC-Clermont with 16 points. It looked like you wanted the ball early and often.
Yeah. Well, I kind of noticed early when we started pushing the tempo on defense, the guy, he was a little bigger guy, and he couldn't get down the court faster, so I just tried to outrun him every time.
And I think there were a couple times I saw you show three, and you had a couple threes at that game at Claremont, so they had scouted you, and they came out at you, and you were able to put it on the floor as well. It seemed like there was an advantage when they came away from the basket as well.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
What else was the difference tonight? What allowed them, what did they do differently in the first half to kind of hang around and go into the intermission with a 6-point lead?
They hit shots.
It's as simple as that.
They were lighting it up, and we weren't. Our defense was terrible tonight in the first half.
What did Coach Stockman say at halftime, or what adjustments do you think you made that allowed you to dominate him the way you did in the second half?
He just told us we got to play Team D. We got to stop gambling, we got to go for the loose balls and getting help side, and it really helped us out.
Wesley Russell really seemed to get going in the second half too. James, how much more difficult is this team to beat when Wesley's doing what he did from the perimeter?
We're pretty tough, especially when Wesley gets it going. We got a lot of talent, 1 through 5.
Feel better about this one after kind of a sluggish game Tuesday night?
Yeah, I feel a lot better as far as our second half performance. We just got to put a full game together.
No rest for the weary for this team. West Virginia, Parkersburg coming in, and then you kind of get into the Mid-East region, Johnson and Crown. Probably some teams like KCU that you go in knowing you should win. Those are some of the games it seems like this team struggles with, games where you know you can probably lay an egg and play bad and still get out with a victory.
Yeah, and that's going to be the difference from being a good team and a great team.
Sure.
We got to play with the same energy, same focus every game, not just against the tough teams.
Absolutely. That's what Tony's been talking about. One of the things I noticed tonight, just your thoughts on this. I know as a big man, you want touches underneath, but he's talking so much about inside out. Start inside, then kick it out. I remember the one time you caught it left block, kicked it to the opposite wing. Really seemed like this offense was at its best when you did that tonight.
We noticed when I got the ball, they kind of sucked in the paint, and it just got my guys open, so I'm just glad to help them out.
Well, you helped them out tonight. You helped them out on November 30th as well. 16 points back then when you hammered them at Batavia, and 26 tonight. It's going to be some guys wearing black jerseys having nightmares about a big fella named James Nelson. Congrats on the win, and we'll talk to you down the road. So
okay,
that's the big man for OCU, James Nelson, the 6'8" senior from Dayton, Ohio, with another solid performance today, 26 points. And he is a big reason why OCU a winner tonight. And head coach Tony Stockman going to put a headset on for us as well. And Nelson's numbers while he does that tonight, 10 of 13 from the field, 25 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks, 2 assists. And Coach, first of all, congrats on the win, and your thoughts on the performance. Tale of two halves, it looked like.
Yeah, it's the same thing, man. We're young, and we just don't have a leader to step up and get us focused at the beginning of the game with games like this, where I feel like we should have came out and put the game away early. But again, we stepped up at the end and we did what we had to do to get the win. I'm just a little worried and scared that it's going to bite us in the butt at the wrong time, that we can't turn it up and make the shots and make the plays to win a game. And hopefully it's not in the tournament.
How did you get them to step up and get more focused? What did you say at halftime, or what adjustments did you make?
Same stuff we talked about before, and we told them when we're not making shots, which we didn't in the first half, except besides James, it was our defense has to be there consistently, and that has to be every time, and that's just effort and attitude. We talk about that, and that has to be there every time, and then that'll get you through the tough stretches when you're not making shots. And the last 3 or 4 minutes, that group that was in there, they turned up the defense and they were playing our defense. And then the second half, I thought we started off a little bit better. But then that point in midway through, I think we really picked it up and played it. And we want to run. But our defense has to get stops, and then we can run after that.
Thoughts tonight on Wesley Russell? Again, I thought we were going to have a sequel of Tuesday. Was MIA 3 points in the first half, and you talk about a guy that can turn it on and turn it off. I mean, there was a period where he really single-handedly created some separation with UC-Clermont.
Yeah, and like I told him, I took him out one time for taking a bad shot, just forcing saying shoot on 2. You know, we want to say give up a good to get a great shot. And but I told him at halftime, I said, you know, that's over with. I want you to be aggressive. I want you to have fun and play your game. And he came out and he did that, and he shot with confidence, and we tried to get him the ball in the right spot, same way with James, and they made the shots in the second half.
The other thing I know you've talked a lot about off the air with me is that inside-out idea, and it seemed like when this offense was clicking at its best, Big James was getting touches and kicking it out to shooters.
I thought our guys did a great job at the end of the second half with understanding that James, you know, he had it going, and then we ran our actions and we got him the ball. And I think we did a great job, and everybody noticed that. And that's our team growing up a little bit that way, you know, becoming a smarter team. I just think that our focus, man, mentally has to be there. Even in games like this, we have to step up and go hard right from the beginning and put games like this away so it doesn't bite us in the butt.
Devin Benson took a shot to the face earlier in the first half. Didn't see him in the second. What's his status?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Our trainer, Nicole, wanted to hold him out. So we'll have to talk about that and see. They'll have a couple days off and then come back. So hopefully he'll be okay.
West Virginia Parkersburg Tuesday night at NAIA school. What do you know about them?
Yeah, they play fast. They play fast, and that, you know, that's good for us. But if we don't get back on defense and make our stops, you know, it can hurt us. So hopefully the guys get some rest. I think it's overdue. We played a lot of games and a lot of traveling in the last week or so. So you know, and they refresh their batteries and come focus, and hopefully we come off the focus we need and don't have to try to turn it on later.
Sounds good. Coach, thanks for coming by and chatting with us. We'll see you Tuesday night against WVU Parkersburg.
Thank you.
That's the head coach of the Trailblazers, Tony Stockman, who joins us here on the pregame or postgame show. Thank you very much. And I will turn his mic down as we put a wrap on this postgame show. Some of the final numbers that may interest you. The Clermont Cougars, 40% from the field tonight for the game. The Trailblazers, 44% on 2s. Trailblazers got a little bit better in the second half. They shot 50% on 3s, 50% after going 9% in the first 20 minutes. They finished 26% on 3s, 5 of 19. Clermont shot 36% on 3s, 8 of 22. Trailblazers 76% at the charity stripe, finishing 23 of 33. And UC-Clermont, maybe a stat that really tells you the tale of this game. Only one free throw attempt in this basketball game, and they made it. So the Trailblazers shoot 33 at the stripe. UC-Clermont shoots 1. And as big as they were, they really settled for a lot of jump shots. And man, it's tough to win on the road with one free throw attempt for an entire 40 minutes. And Clermont, though they had a 36-30 lead after 1, got outscored by 19 in the second half, 46-27. And the Trailblazers win tonight by the final of 76-63. Cougars with the loss, they dropped to 7-19, and they are back in action when? Let's get that information right. Tuesday night when NAIA Brescia comes to town. It's a 7 p.m. start in Batavia, Ohio. Thursday, Wilberforce comes to town, a 7:30 tip. And then about a week and a half, the 30th of January, they go back on the road at Clark State. OCU, as Tony Stockman says, gets a little bit of time off. They don't play tomorrow. They play on Tuesday night against West Virginia Parkersburg. That game is an 8 p.m. start. It's part of a doubleheader. Ohio Midwestern's women will be here to take on the Lady Trailblazers, and then the men will take on West Virginia Parkersburg at 8 p.m., and then they head on the road. Knoxville trip next weekend. Friday at Johnson, which is never an easy place to play, a 7 p.m. tip, and then at Crown next Saturday, a 3 p.m. tip as well. So OCU, the number 1 team in the NCCAA Division II. There's 8 regions in this country, and all 8 region chairs have voted the Trailblazers as the number 1 team in America, and didn't look like it for 20 minutes tonight. They trailed 36-30, but they hammer UC-Clermont 46-27 in the second half. Then they win tonight by the final of 76-63. Want to say some special thank yous. Thanks always to Tony Stockman for talking to us post-game. Thanks also to Mandy Ray for talking with us tonight. Jamie Batten did our pregame coaches interview. Thanks to Fairfield Media, JT Burcham and his crew that do an outstanding job connected to Fairfield Christian School down in Lancaster. Sure appreciate them. And thanks to our sponsors, talking about Jonna Thompson and Subway and Jonathan and the rest of the crew over at the Domino's Pizza here in Circleville. But thanks goes most of all to you for listening. Hope you enjoyed it tonight as the Trailblazers get win number 12, and they win tonight by the final of 76-63. We'll talk to you Tuesday night when Ohio Midwestern comes to town to take on your Lady Trailblazers. Airtime is 5:40. With the pregame show, the opening tip is set for 6 p.m. We will not cover the men's game that night. It's a women's only night, video broadcast, so you can use that Watch Live link right where you're at right now on the OCU website. So again, 5:40 Tuesday night, OCU women taking on Ohio Midwestern. Until then, the voice of the Trailblazers, Rick Cooper, saying so long. The Trailblazers win tonight, 76-63. Have a good night, everybody.
You're watching the Trailblazer Basketball Network. The OCU Trailblazer Basketball Network, brought to you in part by
Domino's Pizza of Circleville, located on Lancaster Pike, 740-477-2541. 740-477-2541.
Circleville Subway is a proud sponsor of the OCU Trailblazers Basketball Network. Subway, eat fresh.
Service Master Clean by Todd George. They will help you get clean and stay that way at work and at home. 740-687-1077. Fairfield Christian Academy has a K-12 program that's committed to molding young